Hey, welcome race fans. We are here with our new show, Under Caution. I'm Heather and this is Puka. Please share out our show and also like or subscribe. Now, I saw the other, not too long ago, Bloomer ended up in the winner's circle. And so I just want to throw out to you, do you think it's good for racing, for Bloomer to end up in victory lane?
Whenever the GOAT wins, it's good. It's good for everything. Oh, speaking of the GOAT, and speaking of the GOAT, Tom Brady, I heard last weekend, 5 touchdown passes at one point. Now, this was driving and heard a headline, came across the radio, 5, so he might end up with more, but that's what I heard. So at 44 years old, I believe now, a guy who they wrote off 10 years ago, 5 touchdown passes. So it's good to see the GOAT of the NFL doing well. It's good to see the GOAT of late model racing back in victory lane. And there's many reasons. You know, I've always said that, and we've said it on the One to Go show, that, you know, he's kind of a promoter's dream. You know, he's got the mystique. Oh, yeah. He's got the skull and bones. So he's got that brand. He's got that image.
Yeah, very much a brand.
Yeah, and just really, actually, one thing, too, is just to keep the win streak alive. He's won races, as far as I know, in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and now, squeaking this one out, 2020. So 5 decades of winning for Mr. or Black Sunshines, I think is what they call him. And, you know, and he's been around. He's got the name recognition. If just a casual person was to walk into a local supermarket and there's a World of Outlaw poster there and you name a few drivers that's going to be there, you know, Bloomquist is synonymous with dirt track and late model racing. Kind of like...
Yeah, well, it's like if you know that Bloomquist is coming, whether you love him or hate him, you're going to show. Because either you want to be there to boo as loud as you can or you want to cheer as loud as you can. So, you know, love him or hate him, people follow.
Yeah. Yeah, so you got a name like Bloomquist, you get a name like Steve Kinzer with sprints, you got Earnhardt, Petty, you know, even Donnie Schatz maybe now with the sprints. There's just certain names that stick out with racing, and he's one of them. And Moyer, we'll talk maybe a little bit more about Moyer later.
He's my choice for GOAT. I like squeaky clean. You know, Bloomer's just not enough squeaky clean in order to be my GOAT.
So we will. Okay, we'll get into Moyer in just a bit here then. But back to Bloomquist. In the interviews are always so good. He always leaves just a little bit to be desired. And even with the competitors, to me, it seems if he's talking post-race interview, wins a race, yeah, we're working hard in the shocks. And that's kind of how he talks. It's like, yeah, we've been working hard on our shock program, you know. It's like, if he's saying shocks now, I have a feeling it was shocks last year, and he's working on
something else.
Yeah, aerodynamics this year. That's how you stay on top and win races over 5 decades. You're not telling people what you're doing now. You're having them chase. You know, you're a squirrel chasing nuts over there, and all the acorns are stashed away over here, kind of thing.
The ingenuity.
I don't know that for sure, but it just seems like it. And you talked about the boos. I remember Jeff Gordon got interviewed, and I think Dale Sr. was still alive at this point, and he said, Jeff, you know, et cetera, and Jeff said, well, Dale Earnhardt taught me one thing. When they stop booing, start worrying, you know, because people boo winners, and there's no question that Bloomquist gets the most boos. Now, at one point, 5 years ago, there were people saying, you know, you go to one of these races, half the T-shirts in the audience, Scott Bloomquist, the other half, everybody else. You know, he's done really well. Of course, the skull and bones, we'll get back to that always helps. Now, the Dirt Track World Championship coming up, $100,000 to win, be the highest paying race of the year. Of course, he's the past champion. There's that 80-20 rule in life. You know, 80% of the races are going to be won by 20% of the racers. So you can use that rule just about anything, just to get kind of a gauge on things. Would I put Bloomer in the 20% that's most likely to win this year? No. But would you have put Scott Bloomquist in the 20% that was most likely to win the 1988 World 100 when he won his first World 100? Probably not. So would I be surprised if Bloomquist won the Dirt Track World Championship? No. So, you know, that's one thing to watch here coming up. And then the other thing for Bloomer is 2021. Obviously, he ran he's running the entire World of Outlaw Late Model Series this year. He's getting into his mid-50s. Does he really want to grind up and down the road like that? Drydene's his big sponsor. Now, Drydene's got this real tie-in with Dirt Vision. And Dirt Vision is the company that broadcasts all the races online for not just the World of Outlaw late models, but also the World of Outlaw sprint cars. They got, Drydene car over on that side too. Like I said, they're really tied in with this Dirt Vision. I suppose a company of that size, they're not necessarily worried about the 3,000-4,000 fans every night. They want the 3,000-4,000 fans, plus they want the 10,000 fans. They're looking at how many, go get 100,000 fans maybe a week between the broadcast and the studio or the audience at the event. So they got the Drydene factor, so I'm sure they're going to want him to continue. I don't think they want him going Lucas because, like I said, they seem to be tied into Dirt Vision, and Dirt Vision is like I said, provider of World of Outlaw late models, World of Outlaw sprints, anything World Racing Group. But the other element to think about Bloomquist is the chassis side. So he's got the chassis. They haven't been the best this year. Ricky Weiss is about the best, running second in the Woo points. But now there's rumors that he's leaving and he's going to do his own thing. And you've got Bloomer running. Chris Ferguson has had a pretty good year. He's running mainly the Lucas stuff. Dale McDowell, of course, is there, but he's more regional. He doesn't do a lot of the national stuff anymore. And we saw from Billy Moyer, the aforementioned, with Victory Circle. After a while, it was tough being a racer and a chassis guy, so he went back just to racing. And then Daryl Lanigan for this year, same thing, dropped off with the chassis bill and just back to driving. So, and like I said, the Bloomquist cars are an eyelash behind right now. So, in order to get them up to par, is he going to be able to get back on the road? Now, on the road, it's early October. Last year, the World of Outlaw late model series started on January 4th down at Vado. Vado is currently not on the schedule, but if they were to sneak Vado back in, the 2021 World of Outlaw late model season is less than 90 days away. They're scheduled to start in mid-January in Florida. If, even with that, we're just over 90 days. We're like 100 days away. So we haven't even crowned the 2020 champion. Well, we more or less have, and there's nobody going to catch Brandon Shepard. They got about 5 races left, but the interesting thing is
the start is just really
so these decisions for a guy like Bloomquist need to be made sooner than later. We're 90 to 100 days away. Now the GOAT. Who's the GOAT?
I vote for Moyer. That's my vote. Bloomer's great. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy him a lot, but there's just some controversy around him that I just think that you need to be a little cleaner than that. So I don't know. That's just my choice as Moyer. Please share out in the comments below who you think the GOAT of late model racing is, and see where we end up. I don't know that there's really a wrong answer here.
I'm glad you said the comment because I'm probably going to get some pushback for calling Bloomquist the GOAT. So if you disagree or you agree, please comment below. Let us know who you think the GOAT is. Now the interesting thing about Billy Moyer is, and you can see this on our YouTube channel, I interviewed Billy at the USA Nationals, and he's really making it sound like this is it. This is the last year. He ran in the top 5. Well, he led 40 or so laps at the USA Nationals. I think he ended up about 3rd, 4th, 5th. And he said, I said, come back next year and give it another run. He said, this is it. This is my last year here. So that'll be interesting. But the other thing with Moyer is he's been a little bit Brett Favre-ish, and he's announced retirement, and then he keeps coming back and he keeps racing. So maybe you can also comment on that, race fans. Is it another Brett Favre retirement for Billy Moyer, or do you believe that this is it here in 2020 for Billy Moyer, Mr. Smooth?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It'd be nice to see him just come up for specials then. But having met him, he's quite the gentleman. So, once again, the GOAT. Thank you for joining us here on Under Caution, and we'll see you next time.